Woo! What's going on, guys? Orange Form coming at you guys today with another video. And I'm going to do some OTA reports, guys. Now, this is going to be the first one. This is from last week, so I'm a little bit behind. I've been behind a little bit on some videos. I know that, and I apologize. And, I'm going to try to get these out a little bit quicker, but sometimes things get caught up with personal stuff in my life, and I just can't get them done. But I'm going to do the first one, and then I'm going to do the next one that just happened, I think, today. Now, we had that first wave of OTAs last week. It was I believe it was, I want to say a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I forget what it was. I think it was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It was a 3-dayer, I believe. And guys like, Jeremy Reisman, Jeff Risdon, Tim Twentyman, Dave Burkett, John Macaron, those guys are putting out stuff for us to read, and I'm trying to get it out to you guys. So, if it wasn't for those guys, we wouldn't get this type of information. So this was, I think, day 3. They were in on there on the Thursday, I believe, and it got opened up to the media, so they got in there. So there was guys like, that were out. I think running back Craig Reynolds, guard Jonah Jackson, center Frank Ragnall's got that toe, defensive tackle Benito Jones, defensive tackle Isaiah Buggs. They weren't there. They weren't really present. They weren't. Nobody's seen them. So there's all kinds of reasons, I guess. Dan Campbell's saying that there's some vet excuses. Some rest. Some guys are becoming fathers. Some babies going around, and just guys that are literally banged up, hurt. Coming back from injuries from the year prior, or just getting banged up during the short mini camp that they had a little bit ago. So there's a few reasons going on there, but nothing too serious, it seems like. Now, quarterback Hendon Hooker, wide receiver Trinity Benson, defensive tackle Levi Onwuzurike, cornerback Emmanuel Mosley, cornerback Stephen Gilmore were there but not practicing. You've seen Hooker walking around with a football in his hand. Benson, don't really know what's going on with him. Levi Onwuzurike and the back surgery, that spinal fusion, stretching, getting out there but not practicing, not doing anything but stretching, kind of walking around. And then Stephen Gilmore, don't really know what's up with him. And then limited guys like edge Julian Okwara and safety Tracy Walker. Walker coming back from that major injury he had last year. So injured during practice was running back David Montgomery, linebacker Malcolm Rodriguez. You guys already know that. We've talked about it on podcasts, and I'm letting you know again, but nothing too serious. I'll talk about it in the next video too. Now the quarterbacks, I'm going to try to go through the position-wise quarterbacks. Goff looked a little bit rusty, apparently, overthrowing guys on 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, missing Gibbs on a wheel route, missing J-Mo on a post, and then a wide open Josh Reynolds. Just not on par with his wide receivers right now. Then I guess Nate Sudfeld looked good. He performed well on that Thursday. Stepped up in the pocket. He was avoiding pressure, taking command of the huddle, just doing all the right things. It looks like he had some good accuracy and some arm strength that day, and he did throw a pick to Brady Breeze, and we will talk about that too as well. And then the running backs, Gibbs coming along slowly. He was on the second and third teams. He had the lower ankle sprain. They're trying to ease him in, and he's looking good out there, but he's coming along slowly. And then Jamar Jefferson, who I guess was the most impressive running back of the day last week. He looked really fast. He took a ball, he took a handoff, bounced it to the outside. Jack Campbell following, almost caught him, I guess, but Jamar Jefferson's got that good speed, and he scored. And the tight ends, Zylstra had a nice day. He flashed. He took a pass up the seam. Looks like he had really good speed on that speed route. And Laporta really didn't flash until later on in that practice. He did beat linebacker Anthony Pittman easy on a seam route on a 7-on-7 drill and looked pretty good doing so. So he's got that. He's got some good quick, Sam Laporta. Then wide receiver, Amon-Ra St. Brown taking over. It's just getting better and better, open all day, caught a bunch of passes. And he just seems to be, he's just the number one wide receiver on this team. Bottom line, you guys all know this. Even when I think Jameson Williams comes back. And then Campbell really likes what Jameson Williams is doing out there. He's running as impressed. His cuts and his speed are undeniable. He did look lazy on a couple balls though, according to Jeff Risdon that I did read or that I did see on his podcast. He said there was a couple balls that he thought that he could have got, but he just kind of, was going through the motions. Now, is that because he's a little bit banged up? He's still a little bit worried about that knee. But there was a couple balls that a few journalists thought that he could have got, but they're not going to drag him through it. But he did look a little bit lazy apparently on a couple balls. Now St. Brown apparently pulled him aside and had a talk with him too after a couple miscommunications. That happened out on the field. So who knows what was said there? But St. Brown taking leadership out there and bringing the youngster. And St. Brown, I feel like he's still young, but he's like, I feel like he's been in the league for 10 years. He's just such a professional. And having a guy like St. Brown for JMO, I think, is really key for JMO's growth. And I think that's great by St. Brown. Pulling him aside, being the leader that he is. So I guess Dylan Drummond, the undrafted free agent that they picked up too, from Eastern Michigan Eagles, had a stretch of where he looked really uncoverable. It was against third and fourth teams, but he was getting open all day, and he caught like 3 or 4 passes in a row and just looked really good out there. So it could be a guy to keep an eye on, the kid out of Eastern Michigan. Then the O-line, there was a couple guys banged up, but left tackle was Decker, left guard was Coyote Wasika, center was Graham Glasgow and Ross Pierschbacher, and then right guard was Big V and Matt Nelson. Matt Nelson playing some guard, and then right tackle was Sewell and Obina Eze. So, there's a couple of guys hurt, like Jonah's hurt. Frank Ragnall's not playing right now. I don't think he's hurt, Frank. I just think they're just not playing him right now. He's got that inoperable toe, so they just want to take it easy with him. And then Vaitai taking it slow as well, too. Being smart with his reps. Colby Sorsel, the 5th round pick out of William and Mary. He had taken some reps at right guard with the reserves. And then Logan Stenberg was doing some reps with the guard and center as well. So trying to get some center work for Big Logan. He's a guy that's going to be on the bubble. And then the D-line, Christian Covington, guys kind of forgotten about, was playing some first-team nose tackle. He's a smaller DT at about 290. Even though it's not a small guy, but that is a smaller nose tackle. He does have some giddy up a little bit, some push to the quarterback. He was a late pick, by the Houston Texans a little while back, years ago, and then picked up by the Chargers, I believe. Like I said on Micro Mike's podcast today, I was like, Christian Covington kind of reminds me a little bit of the John Kaminsky pickup that we had last year. Not a guy that's going to be a superstar or anything like that, but a hard worker, going to make some guys around him better, and a guy that you really have to keep an eye on. You don't have the game plan totally for Christian Covington or John Kaminsky, but you can't keep your eyes off him. You can't just not know where they are. So Christian Covington could be a guy that could get some push, and he's getting some first-team reps out there, and he's looking the part too. So really good. And Levi, we all know what Levi's going through. Now, most used, I guess, along the defensive front was like a 5-man rotation. It was pretty much Romeo Aquara, Christian Covington, Lee McNeil, John Kaminsky, and then Aiden Hutchinson from left to right. So with Hutchinson being on that right side. Not hearing too much about Hutch, too. That's okay. And then cornerback, linebacker, Barnes was starting next to Anzalone. Anzalone had really high praise for Barnes, saying that he's putting in a lot of work. He notices that he's so much different from his rookie days. Being even from last year to his second year, he said he's noticed the change in Barnes physically, and he can see it mentally as well. Jack Campbell, the rookie out of Iowa, was taking reps at the Mike on the second team. Malcolm Rodriguez taking reps at the Will, in the second team as well. And then Jalen Reeves-Maben stepped in when Rodrigo went down eventually with that lower leg injury. Don't know what it was, but I'm hearing it's the thigh. Something to do with his thigh or upper leg. Hopefully it's not a hammy. I think I heard it was the thigh, but I'm just kind of hoping that. But it was an upper leg injury, so hopefully he comes back sooner than later. And then the DBs, Cam Sutton and Jerry Jacobs were on the outside. Cornerback, Will Harris and C.J. Garner-Johnson were kind of in the slot rotating. And then you saw Tracy Walker coming in. Walker's not doing a lot. He's not doing a lot of full team drills, but he's in there now and then on certain drills. So when Walker comes in at safety, Garner-Johnson goes to nickel cornerback. And then He'll bounce back out to safety when Walker comes out. So the versatility is there. That's what we're seeing. And the secondary has vastly improved. Brian Branch is kind of doing the same thing too, the rookie out of Alabama. Kind of doing the same thing as Gardner Johnson, bouncing from safety to nickel cornerback. You know what I mean? So that's actually a really good sign too, that we see Branch in there. And he wants to learn all the positions in the secondary as well, outside as well. So who knows if that's going to happen, but he eventually wants to do that. And then Breeze, like I said earlier, had a nice pick on Sudfeld. He read his eyes, he broke on the ball, and he snatched the ball away from Khalif Raymond. Good pick by Brady Breeze, trying to get some play out there. Then special teams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Khalif Raymond, Maurice Alexander were taking punts, kick return, but they were corralling punts that day. And then Khalil Dorsey, Jaron Williams, 2 corners, Chase Lucas, another corner, and Starling Thomas, the 5th, I believe it is, were gunners. Thomas is a speedster. He broke up a nice play on JMO too as well during those either those 7-on-7s or 11-on-11s. I forget what it was, but he broke up a really nice pass. He's an absolute speedster. He was a track star in college, so kind of look out for him too. He's physical too. And then the notables, man, Dorsey really had a nice couple breakups. He's energetic out there. He was letting people know he was making plays. Chase Lucas looks to be taking majority of his snaps at outside cornerback due to the fact that they drafted Brian Branch and they brought in C.J. Gardner-Johnson. So it kind of bumps out Lucas. And Lucas, the more you get bumped out, he's gonna have to show out, I think, this year to lock up a roster spot. It's early to say he's gonna be gone, but he was a 7th-round pick, and he does need to make some plays to get noticed. And Tom Kennedy was out there looking sharp too, beating up on 2nd and 3rd team defenses. And then C.J. Gardner-Johnson looking like a leader out there, just taking command, teaching his boys, his teammates, new handshakes. That's all fun and stuff like that. But he just looks the part, looks the leader out there. And then Jack McQuaid, apparently he was playing some linebacker. He's a long snapper, so maybe there were shorts on bodies. And that's all really for that last week. That's all I really got. Trying to get as much information as I can, and this is what I gathered up. So thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Part 2 will be coming up and shortly. But thanks for lending me your ear and your eyes so I can throw out my information that I get from these beat writers in Detroit. I love it. Don't forget to hit the subscribe on the bottom right. Don't forget to hit the notification bell on my videos. Don't forget to like and comment this out. What do you guys feel? OTAs, football's back. Phase 1 or week 1, part 1. Part 2 coming up. Thanks, guys. Go Lions. One pride, baby. Boom.